Okay, so time is 11:05, and I think we have a good participant count. Yeah, initially here and there could be new joiners, so I may need to admit them, but that should not be a problem. I hope my screen is visible to all of you. So
yes, Aruna, visible.
Okay, great. So it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all. So welcome everyone again. So thanks for joining us for today's webinar. So my name is Tarunnen, and I am an instructor at OSELabs. So OSELabs is located in Adayar, Chennai. So we are a Red Hat channel partner and one of the leading IT trainer for corporate and groups. So those who want to explore us, you can Google out, and we have a lot of slides to come. Actually, we will give an introduction about who we are and what services we provide, what trainings we provided. So we have a separate slide for that. So having said that, I request you all to be more interactive through chats. So to familiarize yourself with chat, may I request you all to type in your name, contact number, and what one word best describes you. Like if you could be a fresher, or you could be experienced people having 10 or 5 years experience in Linux or other domain. If other domain people and if looking for a domain shift, maybe you can mention as a domain change or something like that. Or you are a manager who manages a team and want to know what is the Ansible. So you can just put one word that best describes you in the chat window, so that you can get familiar with chat window. And of course, we cannot have a separate introduction session with each and every one of you, right? So this would be help me to understand the typical audience. So how many freshers and how many experienced people are there in the call? So that helps me. So I request you all to type in your name, contact number, and that one word best describes you. Say, for example, I would say that my number followed with pressure or something. Okay, sorry. Yeah, a kind of info like this will help us. Yeah, so please type in your details. By the time we can see more participants are joining in. So thanks, Bharatwaj. Yeah. Good, you're a fresher. Good. Krishna, okay, so you're from Windows platform. Yeah, good to know. Yeah, keep going. Yeah, okay, Tamil one. Okay, technical manager. Yeah. Great. Yeah, please type in your name, contact number, and the one word which describes you to understand the audience. So from the first three participants, I could see we have a mixed audience, right? So we have a fresher, we have someone from Windows platform with 6+ years experience, and we have a someone from middle management, right? So it's a technical manager having 13+ years experience. Really a mixed audience. Others, I encourage you to give your details as well. That will help us to understand the audience. And of course, our team will also get in touch with you for, for queries, if any. Looking for placement opportunities. Good. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. So please do type in your details. And so today's webinar is on Red Hat Ansible. Before we get started, just in case if you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to type them into the chat box in your Zoom, right? So wherever you are typing your name, you feel free to type that question as well. I'll bring them up during the presentation, and we will also have time for questions at the end of the sessions too. Okay. So, and one another important thing is, when you are not speaking, please ensure that you go on mute. Okay, so that is another important thing which we learned from the previous sessions. Okay, so as I said, this is Saravanan, and we are going to see a webinar on this topic. So automate everything with Ansible. So don't worry if Ansible is a buzzword to you. So we are going to speak more about Ansible in the next 30 minutes. Okay, so moving on to slide 2. Yeah, so this is the agenda for the next 30 to 35 minutes. So we are going to discuss these various interesting headings in detail. And I'm not going to read out the headings, as anyway we are going to run through on it very shortly. Okay? So let's directly go to slide 3. So before we read this slide 3, I would like to give a small heads up. Like, so we saw in the introduction, right? So I mean, when people introduced, we saw there is a mixture of people. So whomsoever you are, so you could be a fresher or someone having 5 or 10 or even above years of experience in Linux or Unix domain, or even someone possesses experience in other domains but looking out for domain change, right? So you may fall into any of this category, or you may also. So whomsoever you are, but if you have recently attended any interview, or at least if you have gone through any of the latest someone is trying to speak. Okay. Where were we? Yeah. So if you have recently attended any interview, or at least if you have gone through any of the latest Linux or Unix job description from any job portal, right? So you would have noticed that there will be, one second.
Those who are not speaking, can you please keep it in mute? I think it should be okay.
Am I audible? Okay. Okay, I was on mute. Fine. So, okay. So typically, irrespective of you as a fresher or an experienced person or someone who looking for a job change, if you have recently attended an interview or even if you've gone through any job description on the Linux or Unix related domain, you might have noticed that there will be no single job description without asking for Ansible or its equivalent tools, right? So it was not the case 5 or 10 years back, right? So, so what changed the market? Similarly, on the other hand, we are also witnessing a rapid growth in technology, right? So, for example, food delivery app or one second, let me stop the share and reshare it. Yeah, meanwhile, yeah. So, say for example, I just want to show my. I just want to show the paint. One second, let me share the screen. Okay, so accidentally I stopped the sharing. I'm just sharing the screen back. Can anyone confirm if you can see the screen?
Yes, Ananda. I'm able to see the paint.
Yeah, thanks, Noli. Yeah. So, so what I was saying is, on one hand, we are seeing tools kind of Ansible are being mandatory when you look for job. On the other hand, we could able to see delivery, application such as it could be any food delivery application or a cab booking application or even a cash transaction application, right? So, or even e-commerce application. So you name it. So are just introduced into the market with no time, correct? So, or else, are we seeing any advertisement saying that this food delivery application is coming in 3 months or so on? No, right? So, literally overnight, you could see as an application is popping up in your Play Store or something, and it's capitalizing the market very soon, right? So there is a rapid growth happening, and all the applications are coming to the market in an agile methodology, right? So very rapid development is happening. So we need to understand. So we are going to understand if there is any relation between these kind of tools and this kind of application rapid development, right? So we are going to understand the relationship between these two stories, two different stories. Okay, so for that, I have a slide. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this slide. Okay, so this slide speaks about a traditional way of SDLC. Okay, so SDLC stands for a software development life cycle. Okay, your SDLC stands for a software development life cycle. So any new software, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. Is this a recording is going on, right?
Okay, okay. Thanks for reminding me.
Yes,
okay.
sir. Yes, sir. Recording is going on.
Yes, recording
Okay.
is on.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you.
thanks for reminding. Fine. Good. So, so we are going to speak about SDLC, and SDLC stands for Software Development Lifecycle. So, any software, you name it. So, just few minutes back, we were discussing about a food delivery app, or a cab booking app, or a cash transaction app, right? So, it could be any application, but that has to gone through some kind of cycle, right, in order to get a completeness. So traditionally, this was the process or a workflow, and how to minimize this? Right. Okay. So traditionally, this was the process. Okay. In this process, there was a lot of limitation. Okay. There was a lot of limitation. So we are going to see what were the limitation. Okay. So imagine yourself as the business owner. Okay. So here is you. You are the business owner. You are not into the infra team now. So just imagine like you are the business owner, and you got a creative idea. Okay, again, it could be any one of this application, or even beyond this. Maybe like you have a good idea on delivering medicines or vaccination through drones or something. Okay, you name it, but you got a creative idea, and you want this idea to be implemented, or you want this idea to be put it into the market as soon as possible, or in other words, before the competitor comes in, right? So it's a creative idea. You don't want any competitor comes in before you, so that you can win the market and win more customers, right? So you think like this application may take 6 months. Okay, in other words, week 24, right? So 24 weeks, just for an example. So you think that in the next 6 months, if you could bring this application into the market, you can win the market, and you can get more money. Okay, so that's the ultimate goal of any business, right? Okay, now the ultimate key person to develop any application is the development team, right? So developer do develop your application. So what this businessman do is the business person convey his requirement to the development team. Okay, so let's imagine this all happens on week 1. Okay, so they discuss about the requirement, and what is needed, what is the goal, when it has to be delivered, and all those things are discussed on the week 1. So now development team have their own process, right? So they have their own process, and in order to create this application, he need a platform, right? He need a UAT server platform, for which he need infra team support. Okay, he can't himself build a server on its home on its own, right? So he need help. Give me a minute if I want to check if there is anybody waiting for. Okay, nobody. Fine. So now the development team have a dependency on infra team in the platform creation. Okay, so he raised some changes, and he wait for infra team to provide him the environment. Okay, so this analysis takes another week, and now infra team have their own work, right? So they need to if there is a existing server available, well and good. If they have virtualized VMware, well and good. Otherwise, this server racking and network cable plugging in. And apart from that, they also have some tasks which in turn dependent on network team. Okay, correct. So operational team is not only the infra team, right? Operational team is comprises of infra team, network team, and storage team. Correct. So now infra team have a dependency on network team to provide IP address, and if there is any firewall ports to be opened. So now they have a dependency. So now network team do take a week, and they are delivering after by week 4. Now with minimal available hardware, say for example, this server do have internal hard disk. So in the internal hard disk, infra team can install operating system. If there is any monitoring agent, they can do. And now again, there is a dependency for a storage team to provide disk as a kind of SanDisk, right? Where the application has to be installed, and application files has to be stored. So now the ball is on the storage team. The storage team take their own time, not their own time. Again, based on the process, they need to create lens and they need to zone it to your server. And when it comes back, it's already week 7. And now you need to scan for the disk. You need to install application, configure the application, do all the final customization, all the testings, and finally the server is created. Thanks if there is no cluster involved. Otherwise, you need to go for cluster installation, so on, so on. And finally, when the UAT server is ready and handed over to development team, it is 8 odd weeks completed. Okay, so out of 24 weeks altogether for an application to develop, only for UAT server, and 8 odd weeks is completed. And imagine there is still 2 more staging has to be done, right? So development, and it has to take to prod. So we have a lot of other stages to come, but only for UAT, only for creating the basic scratch platform to the development team, and 8 odd weeks is taken in this traditional way of working. Okay, so this is typically which happens when there is no problem at all, right? So whatever I said is a straightforward thing. Whatever workflow we saw is straightforward or as per process. There was no issues or interrupt happened. But imagine there could be also some issues happen, right? Like if there is any production issue arises in between. So this production issue could be for infra team or for network team, for storage team. Any team, it could be development team as well. Everybody will look production issue with more priority and UAT server with less priority. It's obvious, right? So this kind of hindrance can also delay the weeks, right? So delay the week of delivery. So this application this application have to wait until all these issues has to be sorted out. Okay, so not only this production issue for this operational team, it could be a functional issue, or it could be another operational issue kind of path or prerequisites. So this kind of issue arises when this developer, some developers cleverly, what they will do is, instead of waiting for this 8 weeks for an UAT server, they might have started working with their own laptop or desktop devices. Why? Because they know how to code. They might have all these programming languages already installed in his laptop, right? So he may start write the coding instead of waiting for these servers. But the pros and cons are there, right? So when he start writing the code on his own laptop or desktop devices, the pro is he's saving time. Of course, he's saving 8 weeks of time. But the cons is unknowingly, since it is a developer's laptop, a lot of prerequisites might have already installed in his laptop, right? He might have already have Eclipse, he might have already have Java, JVM. All those prerequisites might have already installed in his laptop, so that he don't even know that this application required what prerequisites. So when he has to give the implementation plan, he may miss all those prerequisites. Why? Because his laptop was not warranting those kind of prerequisites. This application was installing in his laptop. He just give instruction to install the application to the infra team when the staging happens. But infra team, since they don't have much knowledge on application team, so application or application coding, they have to rely on this implementation plan. Okay, so they will just implement the implementation plan, whatever the development team share to them, and they will see that implementation plan is broken here, right? Why? Because these prerequisites are not included. Okay, so now what the process is, anything if anything which is not in the implementation plan is unauthorized, right? So infra team have to cancel or fail the change, and that is a rework for development team to come back with all the prerequisites. Again, the change has to be raised with the new implementation plan. Again, all the approvals have to happen, and all these nitty-gritty things impacting the delivery of the application. Okay, impacting what? Delivery of the application. Okay, so now ultimately the organization goal is one single goal, right? It's to develop this application. But the problem is, so business is now understood that because of all this hidden problem, end of the day, either the application could have been not delivered on time. Okay, so the timeline might have been breached. Okay, or developer may get very less time to develop the code, so they may release a prematured application, which may not be appreciated by the customers. Why? Because it's in premature state, right? Or in between, the competitor may introduce a competitive, robust tool, right? Or a very what do you say, a good performing tool, or this idea may be developed from any other competitor. So you may lose the business as well. Okay, so now what does the business do is, so business have analyzed all these problems. Okay, the problem whatever we discussed now is very few, right? Like 3 or 4 we discussed. So there are many other problems as well, but this situation whatever we discussed is some situation which is causing a high impact on the business, correct? So now you could have understood the problem which was in the traditional method, and for which business have listed all those things, right? So they have listed like, though the goal is one single goal of developing and one single application, we have multiple teams working with the multiple priorities, right? So they all have their own process, they all have their own priorities, and subject matter expert, right? So as I said before, there could be a limitation on SME as well, right? Sometimes, say for example, a zoning, I mean, a change might have stated as completed, but it won't work properly. So when you escalate, maybe somebody expert in the respective team come and fix that. So why? Because the tools are also complex, right? A person from network team cannot be much familiar with the storage, or a person from storage team may not be familiar with the infra team. So what I mean is, one single person cannot be expert in all the areas, correct? Considering the complex tool which we are having 5 or 6 years before. Okay, so these are all some of the limitation, okay, which stops business to achieve their goals. Okay, one another thing is the methodology which was using, and the blaming culture. So what is the blaming culture? When the application is not delivered on time, or when there is a when the application is not appreciated in the market, when the business go back for an root cause analysis, so everybody have their own reason, right? So where they will go, they will ask development team why the tool was not delivered on time. So they will say, we have raised the change for infra team, so infra team have delayed giving us the platform. So what happened in infra team? They were liaising on, or they were waiting for network team and storage team. So this blame game happens between each of the other teams, within the teams, within the operation team, or between the development and operational team. But ultimately, the goal is not achieved, right? So that is the blaming culture, which was the problem, one of the problem. And all this together makes huge time in SDLC. So what is SDLC? Software Development Lifecycle. So okay, so this is the problem in the traditional way of working. Okay, and business have analyzed this problem, and they need a solution. Okay, they need a solution. They don't want this kind of segregation of duties anymore. Rather, they need one single team and one culture, okay, with one goal. And they also, instead of having subject matter in each domain, they need cross-skilled workforce. Okay, so even you could be good in storage. Okay, you could have deep knowledge in storage, but it is not enough. You should have at least some knowledge in network. You should also possess some knowledge in infra. Similarly, it applicable to everybody. Okay, someone from development team, it is not only enough for him to be good in development. He is also expected to know something up to some broad level of knowledge in the other areas. Okay, so how this can be achieved? How this can be achieved is, it can be achieved in 2 different ways, correct? So one is, they need to combine this 2 team as one single team. Okay, when you have these 2 different team working as a separate entity, all this blame game happens, right? So now, in order to achieve this one single goal, what business want to do is, they want to merge both dev and operational team as one single team, which is named as DevOps. So this is the DevOps concept which is emerging today, and this is not any tool or this is not any programming language, but this is a culture. This is a culture where developers and operational teams will work together as one single team, okay, and they will have one single goal. Okay, so that is the culture which is expected today, or this is going to be the future in every IT company, and that is why in any job description you see many tools like Ansible, and I'm coming to these tools like Ansible. Why? Because with this kind of complex tool, as I said, if you're going to still use the same old tools, again the problem of the skilled labors comes, right? It's not easy for anybody from the other team to have a cross knowledge. Why? Because this network itself is a version, the storage itself is a version, this infra itself is a version. So one person cannot go and learn everything, right? So so how can we make a generalized tool? Okay, so there comes many tools. Okay, so not only the Ansible, you could have heard or you could have come up with all these kind of tools, right? So this is the architecture of DevOps, and so this comes up with a lot of different tools. Okay, so today we don't have time or scope to discuss about all these tools, but ultimately all this tool goal is nothing but to reduce the SDLC. Okay, so that is the key takeaway from this picture. And of course, after discussing all this problem, you might have got the point, right? So the DevOps comes up with one of the biggest aspect called automation. So how they can achieve this reduced SDLC, how they can achieve this kind of addressing this kind of issue is through automation. Okay, so there comes the Ansible. Okay, so when you want to automate a lot of stuff, then you need Ansible, and there comes the Ansible. So that is how the Ansible is fit into the DevOps model. Okay, okay. Now what we do, we'll take the same scenario, and let's consider now we have Ansible in place. Okay. Okay. So the same situation is there, but now we are going to introduce Ansible into my data center. Okay. If Ansible is there, okay, okay, now a question might arise in your mind, right? So who have to learn Ansible? Whether a developer have to learn Ansible? Is it infra team, or should a network team, or a storage team? Who has to learn Ansible, right? The answer is the Ansible works across the IT sectors. Okay, which means everybody can learn. Okay, it is expected everybody who involved in SDLC development can learn Ansible. Okay, so maybe the next question is, I don't have any prior knowledge in shell scripting. I don't have any prior automation experiences. Can I learn Ansible? Yes, of course you can learn. Why? Yes, Ansible is very easy. It uses YAML format. Okay, so YAML format is as easy as you write a plain English. Okay, as easy as you write a plain English. Best example would be, let me see, if you, where's my text box? Yeah, so the Ansible playbook will be as similar as this. Okay, see, so anybody can understand by this, right? So this is an entity and this is a value. So this is an entity or this is a value. This is a key and this is the value. So likewise, it will be as similar to plain English, so that anybody can read and understand. Okay, a developer can read and easily understand, and even he can write a new playbook. Similarly, infra team, similarly network team, similarly storage team. Anybody across the IT can easily read this and understand. Similarly, they can also write a new playbook without any complex tools, right? So complex tools or complex scripting languages. So that is the power of YAML, and Ansible comes with YAML format. You can write Ansible playbook through YAML format. Okay, so and how it helps each and individual team. Okay, so though we said that everybody have to be cross knowledge, okay, it doesn't mean that everybody can go and work on the other team, right? So a developer cannot go and create LUNs on the from the storage team. He cannot go and work on firewall code, right? So there is some limitation. So now how the Ansible help you in automating your own stuff is, you might be good in storage, right? The people who is good in storage, after learning Ansible, he will write a playbook, okay, which will automate all the storage related activities. A network team people who knows Ansible can write a playbook which does automating his network related activities. Okay, so this is a playbook for storage, this is a network, and the infra team similarly writes a playbook. Okay, now they all share the name of the playbook. Say, for example, this is infra.yaml, this is network.yaml, this is storage.yaml. Okay, now they all share the only the name of the playbook. Okay, now development team or a developer doesn't need to worry about what the playbook does. Okay, he simply can orchestrate here. So what is orchestration? He just give the order. Okay, first he says that run the infra playbook, second run the network playbook, third run the storage playbook. So he is orchestrating in which order it has to be run. That is all. Now he will get the server or UAT environment ready within no time. Okay, why I mean no time? So containerization is the another key concept in DevOps, which will create servers or your environment with less than a minute. Okay, so that is a separate topic altogether. But since DevOps is the subject which we are speaking, so I need to touch the containers as well. So that is the key element here, right? So when you introduce Ansible, you can address all these problems, right? So as I said, you can create the you can use Ansible for provisioning. You don't need to wait for infra team or a network team or storage team anymore. Just by running the Ansible playbook, you can create your servers. Okay, the servers can be created in cloud environment. Inside the cloud, it could be a virtual machine or instances, or it could be a virtual machine from the VMware. It is possible through Ansible. Okay, similarly, it's not only provisioning. Okay, if you want to create 100 or 1,000 of users, you can automate using Ansible. Okay, which will also eliminate the human errors. Correct. Whenever you create a users, you may create users, you may fail to put them into a group. It may happen, right? Human errors do happen. But when you introduce Ansible, you can also reduce or ignore all the human errors by automating them. So that is another advantages. So so what we'll do, we'll move on to the next slide where we'll speak more. We'll understand Ansible into more depth. Okay, so now we understood the where the Ansible is comes from, why the necessity of Ansible, how automation is important in DevOps, and what is the reason we are seeing Ansible as one of the mandatory thing in the job description. So those questions are answered. Okay, so now let's see what is the power of Ansible. Okay, so what is the power of Ansible? This is why, because there is competent tool also, right? There is competitive tool in market, but still why Ansible is preferred over them is, like I said, Ansible can be used for provisioning, server provisioning. As I said, it could be inside your any of your public or private cloud, or it could be your on-premises like VMware or whatever it is. You can create the servers, okay, using Ansible. User provisioning, as I said, if you want to create hundreds of users or thousands of users, you don't need to run user add command for each and every user and user group command to add them into the group. You can use user provisioning options or features of Ansible to automate it. Okay, and this also extends to the networking. Like if you want to open a firewall port, if you want to install any firewall services, and you can extend to the network provisioning as well, and service provisioning. If you want to go for any service restart, okay, SSH restart, SSH is not working, or after some time you want to restart SSH or mail service, those kind of services can also be restarted or managed through the Ansible. And of course, Linux administration task. Okay, so Linux administration task is one single word, but in turn, we can list a lot of things, right? Like if you want to create an LV, PV, if you want to create any logical volume disk file system, anything related to disk inside Linux, or if you want to patch your server, or if you want to you name any activity in Linux, right? So everything can be automated through Ansible. To put it simply, your Linux BAU tasks can be, all the Linux BAU tasks can be automated using Ansible. Okay, so that is the power of Ansible. And managing application lifecycle. So what is application lifecycle? Installing an application and configuring the application. And if you want to, after configuration, you may have to start or stop the application, right? And when everything is completed, you may have to decom the application. So all this kind of application lifecycle, entire application lifecycle can be managed using Ansible. Okay, Ansible has power to do all these things. And as I said before, Ansible is powerful enough to work across the IT sector, right? So not only from infra, it can work beyond infra. It can work on switches, routers, and kind of firewalls, sorry, load balancers. So it has powerful enough to work on the network devices as well, and extending to storage as well. And this is another key important thing, security automation, right? So DevSecOps, if you would have heard this concept, DevSecOps is emerging like anything. So security is the key constraint, right? When phishing and phishings are nowadays threatening the IT cyber security, right? So DevSecOps is emerging like anything, and DevSecOps activities are easily done using Ansible. So if you learn Ansible, it will not only help you in the infra team, but also in Linux, in network or storage, or even in the security automation. Okay, so now you may ask, like, if I'm going to learn Ansible for Linux administration, will that help in any way in managing network or storage or security? Yes, answer is yes, of course. Why? Because whatever you're learning is kind of a math formula, right? So when you understand the preliminary concept of Ansible and all the foundation of Ansible, and later when you are switching the job to any other domain like network or storage, and you are still, you are enriched with knowledge of Ansible to implement them. All you may need to understand new modules, but otherwise you will have all the enough knowledge equipped to work on the other domains as well. Okay, so that is the beauty of Ansible. And I think we have discussed all the use cases. Even there are other benefits as well using Ansible. Okay, so this will answer, like, if why should I use Ansible? Why should not the other tools? We still have a lot of reasons. So Ansible is open source automation platform. Of course, you can get Ansible in multiple ways. So this is supported by community, and community maintain their own versions. And Red Hat do give you on a subscription base, right? So Red Hat give you Ansible based on subscription model. So why it is differ from the community version is, if you are an enterprise and if you want a support, right? If you have any issues in your Ansible, and if you need if you want to seek for support, then you can go for the enterprise edition, which is supported by Red Hat. So all the collection and modules which you get from the Red Hat will be a certified one. So you can trust them over the community version. Okay, usually. So you may understand the problem. I mean, you may understand the difference between the community version and the proprietary version, right? So this comes as a Red Hat subscription as well. But if you want to explore Ansible for a learning or a training purpose, of course, you can learn them easily using the open source automation platform. And you can also contribute to the community. Okay, so once you are good, and if you want to contribute to the community, of course, you can go and write your own module and you can contribute to the community. That is also possible. Okay, and another important aspects of Ansible, right? So why Ansible? If anybody asks you why Ansible, so you can directly answer them. Ansible is an idempotent. Okay, so don't worry if idempotent word is a buzzword to you. So I'll explain what is idempotent. Okay, so imagine like I have a task. Okay, in my data center I have some 20,000 odd servers. Okay, some 20,000 odd servers are there, and I have a task. Okay, I have a task to copy a file. Okay, I have a file here, and I want to copy it to all the 20,000 servers. So that is my task. Now I'm writing a shell script. Okay, so imagine that I'm writing a shell script where I'm going to copy this file one, okay, file one to all the 20,000 servers. Okay, I'm executing this shell script, and it started copying the file. Suddenly after 5,000 servers, what happened? Some server is having some SSH issue or something. For some reason, this shell script is not running anymore. It is hanging. So I have to close this. I have to press Control C and I have to stop this shell script. Okay. Now I fixed the server. Okay, I fixed the server and I want to re-execute the same script. When I re-execute the same script, what will happen? Even though the task has been already completed for 5,000 odd servers, okay, when I re-execute, it will rerun on all the 5,000 servers again, right? So obviously it will work in that way. Why? Because it is designed in such a way that whenever you execute the script, it will keep on running in all the servers wherever whatever listed servers, it will keep on running. Then if this is the case, then what should I do is I need to introduce the intelligence into my script. So what is that intelligence? I need to check if the file is already present. If this file is already present, skip this server. This file is already present, do not copy it. Only if the file is not present, then copy the file. So that intelligence I need to bring into my shell script, which again needs an additional knowledge, right? I need to have impose a good scripting knowledge to introduce all this kind of test cases into my shell script. But when it comes to Ansible, Ansible is idempotent. So this scenario is called idempotent. Okay, when you have this knowledge into your script, it is called as idempotent, and Ansible is idempotent by default. Okay, if you see, except 2 or 3 modules, all other modules in the Ansibles are idempotent, which means you don't need to worry about it. If you want to copy a file, you can copy the file. If the file is already found, the service will be ignored. Okay, similarly, if you want to install any application, you can put all the 20,000 servers. If the application is already found, you don't need to worry. The server will be skipped by the Ansible itself, because Ansible is knowledge enough to do that activity. Okay, so that is one powerful, one of the powerful thing in the Ansible. It is an idempotent. Okay, and of course, this we already discussed. Since it is YAML code, it is very easy to learn and understand. And all the DevOps tools are can be easily connected. And when this Ansible is connected to version control tool like GitHub or GitLab or any version control tool, you can easily go back to previous version. Okay, say for example, today you are having version 1, tomorrow a version 2 is introduced. For some reason, version 2 playbook is not working properly, you can easily go back to version 1. Okay, so if you see, all these tools can be easily integrated. Okay, you can create a pipeline using this Jenkins or something. All this connected can be easily connected using API. Okay, so Ansible comes with a rich API so that you can easily connect with any other tools. Even if suppose you have any ticketing tool in your organization, and if you want to connect with Ansible with that ticketing tool, that is also possible. Okay, yeah. Another important advantages of Ansible is agentless. Okay, so I'm going to introduce Ansible in my data center. Should I? And I have already 20,000 servers in my data center. Should I have to go and install Ansible in all my 20,000 servers? No, not required. All your 20,000 servers can be remain as it is. Only you can introduce Ansible server, and from Ansible server you can start managing all the other nodes using SSH, using OpenSSH. Okay, for Windows you can, for Windows there is a module called WinRM, and for Linux you can use OpenSSH. So what it means is you can manage both Linux as well as Windows machine using Ansible. So Ansible is cross-platform support. Ansible also provides cross-platform support as well. Not only the network device, within the operating system, both Linux and Windows machine can be managed through the Ansible. Okay, that is also possible. So since it is agentless, it is a very less work for you to install agent on all the servers which is already lying in your data center. That reduces your work, and moreover, it uses SSH port, which is 22, port number 22. By default, this port will be opened in all your Linux server. You don't need a network team to open any new port. Okay, so that is another advantages. And the next one is dynamic inventory. So what is dynamic inventory? in any data center, for in this example, I said 20,000 servers, right? So it doesn't mean that till my life end, this 20,000 servers will be the final count, right? So every day my data center will be resizing. Old servers will be getting decommissioned, and new servers will be keep on build servers will be keep on adding to the inventory, right? So this number is a constant, right? So it's subject to change. It will always keep changing. So if it keep changing, Ansible, when you use Ansible, you don't need to worry about this kind of ups and downs in your server count. Why? Because Ansible, again, rich in API, it can connect to any of your inventory tool, and automatically through that inventory tool, it can populate the inventory. Okay, you don't need to worry about any of this kind of decom or build when you go for Ansible. So it supports dynamic inventory. It also extends this dynamic inventory to the cloud. Even if you're having your data center inside any public cloud or private cloud, and even there, if you are going to have this kind of decom and continuous build, no worries, Ansible have APIs to support that dynamic inventories inside the cloud environment as well. Okay, and finally, as I said, this is we already discussed, right? Like using Jenkins, easy integration can be done using Ansible. And the one thing which is not mentioned is, so we touched upon containerize, right? So the latest Ansible version comes as a containers. Okay, so you will run Ansible as a container. We know how the containerization helps the today's market in reducing the SDLC. So Ansible do run as a container in the latest versions, so thereby saving a lot of time and a lot of optimal resources of usages. Okay, and whatever advantages we saw is very less. And only from the infra perspective, right? So if you could have asked network or a security team, so they will have a lot of other benefits which helps them, through related to Ansible. Okay. So having said that, so I would encourage anybody, right? You could, as I said, you could be a fresher, or you could be a experienced person, but not in Ansible. You want to learn the Ansible, or you want to learn DevOps. You have some roadmaps to learn DevOps. Then Ansible must be in your reading map or a learning map, actually. So I would suggest Ansible is a key tool. Why? Because so DevOps is the emerging culture. Soon or so, you will definitely see those culture implemented in every IT organization, where everybody in the IT will be definitely need to know a tool kind of Ansible. And Ansible is very easy to learn and very powerful, as I said. And when you start writing code, then you will see how easy it is to write codes and do your day-to-day task in a more efficient way, right? In a more efficient way, reducing the human errors. So that is all a positive sign which may help you to in your promotions, or you can even suggest the new tool to your organization. So it helps across the IT, not only to your team, right? So you are proposing a tool which is helping beyond your team. It's for the entire organization. Okay. So having said that, I'm moving to the other slide. So who can learn this? So as I said, it is designed for system admin, for network admin, security team, DevOps engineers, or anybody aspiring to become any of these engineers, or anybody who want to looking for a domain change, especially into DevOps or a Unix kind of domain, or anybody leading this kind of DevOps team, right? So they also should possess some good knowledge in Ansible, so that they can give some logical ideas, or architects who want to design automation for their environment. So these people can prefer learning the Ansible. Yeah, so I'm done with the seminar. So what I'll do, as I said before, I'll run through few slides about OSELabs, and then we'll pause for questions. Okay. Okay. So who we are is we are OSELabs. As I said, we are located in Adayar. So you can get our contacts in Google, and we also publish soon in the upcoming slide. So we are offering these different various courses, right? So we are channel partner to Red Hat. So we provide Red Hat Linux, Kubernetes, Python, AWS, Ansible, Azure, and we are also into IoT, and we provide orchestration like Red Hat OpenShift. Okay, so if any of the course which is not listed here, and if you're interested, of course, you can reach us out. we can check if we could provide those kind of trainings. So that is OSELabs and the courses we offering. And so this is offer of the day, right? So since you all have shown up today, so you have this wonderful opportunity, right? So people who are going to opt courses with us will get this free Ansible book worth of 3,000, and they also will get 10% discount on the training fees. And especially for people who are going to enroll today, okay? So this is offer of the day. Only people who enroll today, and that too, they have to reach the Adair office in person to collect the goodies, and they will also get this all these three, right? So when you enroll today, you will get additionally goodies plus 10% and free Ansible book worth of 3,000. So we have coordinators in this call as well. So we have your contacts, so they will reach you and they will explain you about this offer of the day and the courses and the courses objectives. So you can inquire with them and you can enroll yourself for any of these courses, not only Ansible, any of these courses which is offered by OSELabs. Okay, so having said that, so why OSELabs? When we have many centers, why OSELabs is, as I said before, we are channel partners of Red Hat, and all the trainings here are given in a good, I mean, with a sufficient lab environment. So you get an hands-on environment where you can get your hands dirty doing all the stuffs in the labs. And when it comes to Linux training, okay, especially when it comes to Linux is the basic fundamental thing, right? So when it especially comes to fundamental Linux training, we also offer Python, okay, as an additional package. We also give basic Python training, and we also offer mini projects, okay? So you may not see this elsewhere. So we give mini project. This is customizedly designed for freshers or a person who is looking for a domain change. So when you have your hands-on kind of mini project, right? So you will be well equipped to crack interviews. So that's the key concept of having these mini projects. So we will be there to guide you throughout the projects. So wherever you stuck, we will be there to guide you, and we will have a lot of mock-up trainings, mock-up interviews, so that you can face the interviews. Okay, so having said that, there is also one small announcement for financially challenged students. So if you are financially staying back and if you have any problem paying the fees, and only for this Linux training, you can reach out our proprietor, Mr. Murli. So he helps society by giving by offering free Linux training. So only for people who have financial challenges. Okay, so you can reach them out and ask for help. So maybe like you can get Linux training and you can get all these mini projects. You can also equip with the mock-up trainings, and you may also get with a lot of job interviews. Okay, so they will also try to fit you somewhere inside the job market. So that is also done by OSELabs, and especially to put a star, it is only for the financially challenged people. So consider that. And so here is the contact numbers. So you can contact us through any of these numbers. If you find difficulties noting down, you can just take a snapshot. So you can reach us in any of this number. You can inquire about the courses, and if even courses, if it's not listed here, you can ask for any customizers. And we provide courses for group as well as the corporate. So you can reach us out. And so this is an webinar alert. So we try to give webinars on different topics, right? So we are making people industry ready. So today concept is on Ansible, and prior we were having on Linux performance. And so similarly on April 15th, April 15th is what? April 15th is next Saturday, right? So next Saturday, 11 o'clock. So we have a webinar on topic 1 hour job shift. So anybody want to shift job? So it's a must attend session. So don't miss it. Join and leverage the points which is shared by the presenter. I'm not sure who is the presenter, but I encourage you to join and get benefited of this kind of webinars and workshop as well, right? So last week we had a workshop on performance. So workshop will be even engaging. Okay. but I recommend you to join both webinar because webinar will be most eye-opening session, right? So those who are not even know what is Ansible today, it will be an eye-opener session for them, right? So don't miss any of this webinar or workshops. So you have a webinar on the next week also. And having said that, so we will be sharing a link. Okay, we'll be sharing a link in chat window. So that is for you to give me a rating. Okay, so you are going to rate me about this webinar, how the webinar was, how the content was organized, how I delivered the all those stuff. So there is a link will be shared by Sarika or Murli. You can review and review the webinar feedback. So having said that, I'm done and I'm open up for questions. You can post your questions. Meanwhile, let me go to the chat window and see if you have any other questions already posted. So feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions. Okay, so here is the link for goodies as well. So you can enroll today in this Google form and you can collect the goodies from the Adair office. So use this link. Okay, any free Ansible certification course there online? Okay, free Ansible certification course. To be honest, I'm not sure, but up to my knowledge, there is no free Ansible certification because Ansible comes as a subscription through Red Hat, and Red Hat is a channel partner, and Red Hat provides training through channel partners, right? So I don't think you will find Ansible certification free online certification course. Okay, maybe you may find something in YouTube, but I'm not sure if there anybody else is giving you a from a channel partners like Red Hat. Okay, so any other questions, you can feel free to type in the chat window or you can unmute yourself and you can throw your questions over voice. You can also provide.
Sir, hello.
Yeah, yes.
Sir, this is Krishna Prasad. Sir, I'm going to write the RHCSA exam in maybe 1 month or something. I've already paid the fees. So I've inquired about Ansible before. And they told me that Ansible is about automation and it requires some experience because once I complete RHCSA, I want to take RHCE also. So they told me that Ansible requires some experience, and also is it required, sir, or anything specifically I need to learn to Ansible to complete the RHCSE, RHCE, I mean.
Okay. So
Because I have no Linux experience, that's what I'm asking.
Okay. So that's a good question. So coming back to this slide, maybe I can use the same slide for answering your question. So yeah, so this slide. So can you able to see this slide? So as I said,
yes, sir. Yeah.
So yeah, as I said, Ansible is a tool to automate some stuffs. Okay, so irrespective of any of this team, right? So it could be infra team or network team or storage team, whatever it might be. But you're going to automate something. So if you want to automate something, you must know what you're going to automate, right? So if you are going to automate Linux job, so first we must know how to do it manually. If I know how to patch my servers manually, I can automate it. Only if I know how to create users manually, I can automate it. So that is a simple logic, right? So that is why if you want to learn Ansible, so bare minimum, you must know Linux so that you know the basic platform where you have to log in, where you need to create users, where you will patch the servers, where you will create an application. So all this is the basic prerequisites to understand Ansible or to use the Ansible itself, correct? So that is why they would have suggested you to learn Linux. And of course, learning Linux will really help you to understand Ansible much better. Because only when you know the stuffs to automate, you can use the tool efficiently, right? Does it answer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I understand. So once I complete RHCSA, it will be enough for me to take Ansible, right?
Of course. Yeah, that is enough. That is bare minimum.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Saran added to his question,
Yes.
Mr. Krishna Prasad question, just to say in very simple words, for example, in Linux, you will learn how to install a package in a server. Okay, that is how normally the syllabus will teach you, or we will demonstrate you how this can be done. Okay, if the same thing happen for hundreds or 500 servers at a time, then you will go for, or you will need to go for the Ansible. Okay, so automation is something like you can able to do the task in parallel, multiple uh, devices. I'm not saying that server, it will be devices. Okay, so that is how. So directly answering your question, yes, after taking the RHCSA, which is nothing but the Linux, which has the Linux fundamentals and understanding, after that you can take the Ansible. No need to wait for some more days, because this is kind of a pack. Okay, so you can able to do that. And if you are doing that after and follow to the Linux, then it is very good. As I'm saying that sometimes you may not forget the concepts which you have learned in your Linux. So that will give you a very good shape. That is how we are recommending people to take both the courses, RHCSA and follow to that RHCE in a single pack. Okay. Thanks, sir. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Murli. And yeah, there is also a question on course fee. Maybe Murli, you want to answer, or
Yeah, what is that actually?
okay, course fees on Linux?
Okay, so fine. So what prior knowledge required? I have basic Linux knowledge. What is the course fee? Okay. Like Linux knowledge, you may have. I'm not sure how much knowledge you have, but one thing is sure that you like if you have a knowledge in user administration, process administration, disk administration, okay, and maybe in other areas like on the whole the system administration, if you're having good knowledge and depth knowledge, then it is good. Otherwise, I just recommend to take the course, as because Linux is like a foundation, the fundamental. Okay, on top of that you have to go for multiple other areas like automation through Ansible, and DevOps through multiple components like Jenkins, Maven, okay, and Nagios. So many things that you have. So all on top of Linux only. If you are very strong in Linux, see for example, if I say that maybe like process, right? So how the process can be prioritized. Okay, so that particular concept, I am not sure you may have that knowledge, or you may not have a chance to learn that. Okay, so these are all comes under the syllabus. And also, if I say that the storage perspective, okay, in that area, in the storage area, for example, we also like deliver first of all, like what is the network user, how the like how the auto FS can be created or configured. Okay, so these are all very much required in the industry, right? And that we will cover normally, because it is a syllabus that we will cover. But in case if you really wanted, because if you have this knowledge, enough knowledge, then I am saying that no, not required for you to take the Linux course. Okay, but if you are trying to take the Linux course, the cost for the taking the Linux course is 32,470 rupees. In case if you want to take, I mean, if you want to pay it in a single like in a one time, right? Then you have to pay 30,470. A 2,000 rupees difference will be there, because we have to bear that amount in case if you want to, and that too you have to take it. I mean, you have to pay that in another 20 days time, like that. Okay, so normally I can say that 32,470 is the cost, where you can able to, where we will actually deliver the system administration, and also we will deliver the basics of Python, and also we will ask you to come to lab and take the mini projects, okay, which are very much helpful for your job careers, etc. Okay, I'm in especially for the freshers. And one more thing, we are also providing job opportunity for the freshers. Okay, so this we are not charging for that. Okay, so these are all the areas, and we will also like do some body shaping, like the communication, other stuff. Okay, that would really help for the freshers to, to understand how to take the interviews because they are freshers, right? You cannot able to get the job when you are going for the first interview. Definitely, at least 3-4 interviews you have to cross. Then only you can able to understand what is industry requirement and where we are and how to actually get into that, right? So that will take at least. Okay, so that is the reason we are backing up every time. That's what I can say, that we are not giving any kind of assurance, but we will give you assistance, job assistance. That is the reason we are slightly higher than the other guys, other partners, as because we are more concentrating and we are working only on the knowledge base, not on the certification base, which means that during the course, during the training, we are not talking anything related to this is the important question, please note it down. We are not saying like that, as because we know that the interview or the actual target is not the certification but the one-to-one interview. Okay, because knowledge is very much required. So that is the reason we are. But once you have completed everything, we have a special trainers available only for focusing onto the certification part. There we will concentrate only on the certification, because we know that certification is also very much important. When you are going for interview, if there is 20 persons are coming and you are one among the attendee in the interview, probably they will select based on the certification, because they will not say that you know this, you know the user management, you know disk management, you know process. No, they will say that they will actually check that in your resume, saying that who are all certified. They will just they will give first priority to those. Okay, for example, out of 25 members are certified, then 5 members will be easily get a job. So that is one among that. And one more thing is why we need to go for certification, because wherever you are going to join, the client will actually, you are become a billable resource for the client. Okay, that is one among the advantage why companies are going towards the certification. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Arun. I think it's answered my question. Probably I not given the direct answer, maybe one line answer, but I'm sorry, I've taken some more time. Okay, thanks for that.
Can you share the Ansible course details, like the content?
Content, yeah, sure. Sarika or someone from the sales team, please note Mr. Tamilvanan's detail, and you please share the contents to him.
So I was actually looking out for some, does it cover this Ansible tower and loops and other functions?
Ansible tower will not be covered in this basic course, but it will be covered in the advanced Ansible, sir. Okay,
so
but
the content, we'll check it out.
Yeah, sure, definitely. So someone please note it down, Kalivani or Sarala or someone, right? Sarika, please note it down, and please ask sales team to give the proper information to Mr. Tamilvanan. Thank you. Someone you there?
Yeah, Murli.
Yeah, fine. Anything else? We have any other questions? Yeah. If we don't have any questions, we'll wind up the session, Sarana. Thanks.
Sure. Okay, thank you all. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.